The New York Giants are kicking off the new regime in the Big Apple with a pair of big picks coming away with a pretty fantastic combination of Kayvon Thibodeaux and Evan Neal with the 5th and 7th overall picks to give out grades. Will Brinson here with Chris Trapasso on the Pick Six Podcast YouTube channel. Traps, give me 2 grades. I mean, look, the Giants have 5 and 7. They decided to stand pat. There had been zero buzz connecting them to Kayvon Thibodeaux leading up to the draft. It turns out they loved the kid. He fell to them at 5. They pounced all over it, knowing with 3 tackles on the board, they could then grab Evan Neal at 7. What are your grades? Okay, actually, we'll start with Kayvon. Actually, give me a grade for each of them. What do you think for Thibodeaux and then Evan Neal?
For Thibodeaux, I gave it an A-. I think the only concern with him is that he doesn't have that super polished Aiden Hutchinson, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa pass rush move arsenal. Everything else about his game I absolutely love. Burst, bend, speed to power. He is a high-level pass rusher, athlete, good run defender too. And that's certainly been a need for the Giants for a long time. They drafted Azeez Ojulari last year in the 2nd round. Good, probably secondary rusher. They needed that alpha rusher on the edge of their defensive line, and they got that with Kayvon Thibodeaux. They weren't connected to him, and I don't think a lot of people thought he would necessarily be there at 5. Like you mentioned, when he was there, the Giants pounced on him.
Yeah, I'd heard some stuff that was not as positive about Thibodeaux and the Giants going into just sort of the meetings and how it had gone, and maybe, it wasn't going to work out. And the same had been said about the Jets, and that's why people sort of got off of them there. I also thought that Thibodeaux was going to be gone at 2, going to the Lions. Obviously, they went with Hutchinson at 2. The Giants had a couple of key needs. And, this is a team that looks at this and says, all right, we're not in a 1-year turnaround. We are in a bit of a rebuild. We know we need weapons. They know they needed to get more protection for Daniel Jones as they try to give him 1 more year to see if he can work things out. They announced before the draft they were not picking up his 5th-year option. They could have waited till Monday, but they did it anyway. Evan Neal, of course, played some guard and plenty of right tackle at Alabama. So you would assume they leave Andrew Thomas there on the left side, put Neal on the right side, beef up the interior like they did in the off season, where you sort of get some blue collar guys. It's similar to what they did at what the regime they came from did in Buffalo, Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. And now you feel like you can actually protect Daniel Jones. You can block for Saquon Barkley, and maybe you can have a little bit of cooking with gas when it comes to this offense, much more than you thought you'd had before. So I'm going to give it a combo grade here, because they also went out and grabbed, of course, a pass rusher in Kayvon Thibodeaux, who can now get after the quarterback. They needed help there. They haven't really had great pass rushers in the last 5 or 6 years. They needed to get a true edge guy. Thibodeaux is that. He's got the great presence. He's up there dancing around on stage. And then Neal, just such a big physical guy. I thought the way they played it, not going offensive linemen, knowing there were 3 guys on the board they could take, all right, let the Panthers take who they want. We know we'll take, Cross, Neal, or Icky, one of those 3 guys. That was a very smart play on the Giants' part. I'm going to give him a combo grade of A+.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there. I think combo grade of A, and I would give the selection individually of Evan Neal an A too. To go a little step further there with Evan Neal, I love him as a prospect. He's certainly got that high upside, being as big as he is, 6'7", the skinniest 337-pound player that we've ever seen in the combine. I think his film in 2020 at right tackle and earlier in his career was actually better than 2021 at left tackle. And in today's NFL, you need 2 quality tackles. It's not just putting your lesser player at that position at right tackle. They have 2 monsters from the SEC. Like you mentioned, is going to help out Daniel Jones, whoever the next quarterback may be. And yeah, it is similar a little bit to what the Bills did to build up the offensive line around Josh Allen and Joe Shane there, who was the assistant GM in Buffalo under Brandon Beane, now the GM there with the Giants. They usually gravitated toward those freaky specimens, those big-time athletes in building that roster through free agency and the draft. And they get Kayvon Thibodeaux, who's certainly a freaky athlete, and Evan Neal, who moves as well as any big blocker that we've seen high in the draft. So they did a great job letting the board fall to them and getting 2 elite talents at premium positions inside the top 10.
Agree completely. All right, hit the like button on the video, smash subscribe, go ahead and turn on alerts, and leave in the comments your grade. You can give us a combo grade, or you can give us a grade for each of the picks for the New York Giants at 5 and 7.